Welcome everyone to my new tutorial series. This is going to be on HTML and CSS. And for those who don't already know, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Now, these will be both used throughout my next couple of tutorial series, and they're going to be used so that we can start to design our first web page all the way until we can develop a web page that's slightly more involved, slightly more complex, and something along the lines of what I've created myself. Now, this is an ongoing project, so as I make tutorials, I'm also developing this website, so it's always going to be changing, so new tutorials are going to be coming out very frequently. So this is my HTML document, which for some of you may look a bit kind of scary, a bit like gibberish, but don't worry about it. We're going to be going through everything. And we're going to be going at a pace that's easy to follow, that's easy to understand. And obviously, if you do have questions, then email me on my website, carlsapti.com, or you can leave me a message down below, or, you can contact me any way you want. So this is an HTML document that we're going to be starting, or not this one, but we're going to be starting a very basic one, and then we're going to be working our way up towards something like this. We'll also be looking at CSS in such a way that we're going to be using the HTML skills and then linking it up to linking it up to a CSS document in order to make the website look nice. Because at the end of the day, you want a nice looking website. You don't want something that's plain, boring, and frankly dull. So this is the point of CSS. It's used to make everything look nice by styling it to your needs. That's the main aim. So again, obviously this looks a bit confusing, but I'll be going through everything right from margins to positions to widths, heights, whatever you need. Okay, so I'll be going through everything. And by the end of it, we're going to be creating a website, or a website of your own, that's going to look something like this. Okay, like I said, this is an ongoing project. So for example, all this text means nothing at the moment. I've got a big picture, so I've used Photoshop for this, which I will include the Photoshop tutorial on how to do this, or I may just put the JPEG file online. If you guys want to use this, you're more than welcome, or you can use your own image. It makes no difference to me. I'll also be showing you how I got the search box done, how I made that, and how I'm currently doing my website on my own, because I wanted to change from my old website. So for this first tutorial, I thought I'd show you guys how we can make the structure of an HTML document. Now, in an HTML document, you can use any form of script or any text editor you'd like. So, for example, Notepad, Notepad++, both of them are available freely on Windows. If you're using Mac, you've got a text editor. I think it's called somewhere here. It's called TextEdit. Okay. Or you can freely download Sublime Text, like I have. And remember that if you're using one that's not part of the computer, as in if it's not TextEdit or Notepad, then you get one of these, then remember to change your language to the appropriate language. Now, in any HTML document, the way you have to start is you have to type in open angular brackets, exclamation mark, and type in doctype. Type, and then space HTML in small letters. Now what this says is I'm going to be using HTML5 because that's the version of HTML I'm going to be using. Next, I'm going to open up another pair of brackets, and angular brackets, and I'm going to type in HTML here. Now what this does is it tells the computer that, okay, I'm going to be using an HTML format, and the whole program is going to be written in HTML as opposed to another language. So the whole web page is going to be designed or written within the HTML brackets, or within the space between the HTML opening tag and the HTML closing tag. The way an HTML opening tag works is you have an opening bracket, and then the name of the element that you're going to be using, and then a closing bracket. When you've finished with that tag, you need to close it at the end. In order to close it, you have another opening bracket, a / as a prefix, and then the same name as the opening tag, or the same element name, and it's closed appropriately. As they are both underlined, it says that this one is the opening one and this one is the closing one. Now this is very fundamental because if you don't close a bracket if you don't close a tag that's already been opened, then it could have effects on your page which you either don't want, or the web page just may simply not run, and you may be confused as to why. You've got 400 lines of HTML code written, and suddenly nothing's working, and it's all because you missed out one tiny little bracket or one tiny little closing tag. So it's very, very important that you do this. Next, we've got a head, and like I said, close your tags. What goes in the head? What goes in the head is simply extra information. For example, we can have a title page, so we can have a title here, and we can have the title of our web page there. We can have links to our CSS documents. We can have links to websites in order to import certain fonts, to import certain scripts, things like that. After the head, we have something called our body. Now, the body is like probably one of the main sections of HTML, because within our body is where we're going to be writing our code. We're going to be writing most of the code because this is where all the content belongs. Okay, so it's all within the body. And within the body, we're gonna, for example, let's first say we have our HelloWorld app, our HelloWorld program. So I can say Hello World. And let's make a title over here, and let's call this My First Page. Now don't be misled. The title of a page does not mean it's going to be the big fat off header that you normally see on a page. This header is going to be in the little tab, the little tiny tab at the top of the page, for example, on any web page that you create. So this will be demonstrated in a moment. First, let me show you how to save an HTML document. In order to do this, all you do is you're going to File, you're going to Save As, and then you name it what you want. And you put it into the directory wherever you want it. So for example, I'm leaving mine in the desktop. It's called hello.html, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to replace the file because I've made a similar one before. And voila, we have now created our first HTML document. So like I said, I've opened up a HTML tag here, closed it, a head tag, closed it, a title tag, closed it, a body tag, and I've closed it. Now I know all of that's correct, and I've saved it. Let me go ahead and open it. So it's down here. And here you go. I've got my Hello World script there, my text there, and on the top it says My First Page. Okay, so this is our first HTML document, and you've now done it. In the next few tutorials, or in the next several tutorials, I'm going to be showing you how we can do anything from adding paragraphs, to adding pictures, to making clickable pictures, to, loads and loads of different things. And then we're going to start to move on to CSS, which will be in my next tutorial series. So stay tuned, guys, and if you do obviously have any questions, then honestly do let me know. Leave a message down below, leave comments, or you can go into my website and message me on there as well. It's carlsapti.com. The link is in the description below. Feel free to subscribe to me if you guys want to, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.